All right. Welcome back to the Michael and Ellis Show, episode 12 of season 47 of Survivor. We have our special guest, Connor. We wanted to get you on last week because Kyle unfortunately went home. I know, part of our fantasy team, big hit, but you're here now. Welcome, Connor. Thank you for coming on. Oh.
I'm excited to mourn the loss of Kyle.
Yes. No. Yeah, I mean, it was what I mean, we talked about it a little bit just before recording, but like what has been your general like how do you feel about this season so far?
Really good in the beginning. I liked my picks, but I don't know. I'm a bigger fan of last season, but this season's been good. Everybody's interesting. I guess my only problem is, as a majority, these players think people are certain threats when other people are more obviously a danger to their game, and they just kind of trigger happy in this season's cast.
Yeah, well, I guess I can do a quick I mean, honestly, you guys helped with the recap a lot, so I'll try and fumble through it a little briefly here, but if I miss anything, just let me know. We're coming off Kyle getting voted out, and Sue is over the moon. She finally got Kyle out. Teeny is also excited. They were able to get the for once they got something they wanted to happen. And we had the loved ones letters come at the reward, and Sam ended up with taking this one home, and he immediately picks Andy kind of as like a please forgive me. And Andy is shocked for once he was picked first in a schoolyard pick. Um, but on the other hand, uh, like Newton's what is that the third law? Every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. Andy's super happy, and Teeny is pissed because Teeny was not picked, and Teeny is not happy.
She is
Um,
not.
Yes. Yes. Sam ends up picking Genevieve over Teeny. What the hell? Uh, and
As if that was a shock. Like, she's been gunning for Sam this entire time. She doesn't deserve to get picked by Sam.
Yeah.
yeah, so and that kind of is the catalyst for the rest of the episode. We have Operation Italy.
Mhm.
Um, was it I don't know, was it Andy that originally pitched it or was it
Andy,
kind of
it
a
was it was Andy who originally pitched it because it was interesting. He went up to Sam and Genevieve and pitched this idea to them.
right? And they had like the whole night to get their whole story straight.
Yeah.
They even the Operations Italy they got to do some PR for the fans back home, and then they it was a real fully fledged uh orchestrated plan, and
Very
we kind of
intricate.
we saw it take into effect the rest of the episode. Andy's pitching the split vote to the Underdogs Alliance, and Heaney is insisting that it was Heaney wanted to put more votes on Sam, right?
Yes. Teeny wants Sam
Right.
out. Like
And
100%.
which I guess we don't necessarily know what because and well, okay, we'll get into the details on that, but
Hmm.
end of the episode, it ultimately ends up Caroline goes home. I think I predicted that right,
You
maybe.
did. You did predict it right. Yeah, you said Caroline.
Which and then you, Michael, you were talking about the fake idols too. There was we've been I feel like we've been doing a good job with the
We're
predictions.
basically like oracles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're super smart. So
Connor, what did you think when you were watching the episode? Like, I guess I mean this is the type of episode where it wasn't necessarily surprising. You're kind of hoping that the something's gonna happen, and it like inevitably does. But like, were you surprised? What was your initial reactions?
I was excited. I watched it a day later, so I saw on Twitter that this was said to be one of the best episodes. And I remember joking with you guys. I said, if interested in this being the best episode, if Kyle makes a comeback somehow, and it didn't happen.
No, it's sad.
Oh, don't know why I would have thought that would happen. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just salty. I miss my boy Kyle. I miss the family, man. But I honestly, this episode, strategy-wise, this is probably the most. This has been the most strategizing I have seen this season, honestly. And it was, for the most part, a foolproof plan. They didn't account for Rachel winning, but it was impressive to see Genevieve, Sam, and Andy just quickly call an audible and agree on getting Caroline out. I would have liked to have seen Teeny be the for shot because she was honestly she nerves a little bit, and it would have been nice to have just seen her kind of go because Caroline actually did have a game going on, and I think it would have been cool to see how much further she would have progressed if it had worked.
Yeah.
this this
Yeah, this
definitely
was not a good Teeny episode. Did not make Teeny look in a good light, I think. So it was definitely really interesting too because I was really surprised by this whole episode, honestly. Like I thought Operation Italy was totally going to like fail. I did not think it was going to work. I was like I think they're just like building it up. There's going to be like a lot of hype. Like the editors are like, doing their editing magic. They want us to think it's going to happen and then like after Rachel won immunity, I was like, okay, it's gonna fall apart. Like no one knows what's gonna happen. And then like
and Queen
Sue
Genevieve is gonna go home.
and Queen Genevieve would go home. Actually, it would be Sam, which is okay. But but yeah, so it was really, and I think it's really interesting that this episode and last episode we see this really like I think worn down, stubborn side of Teeny, where she's and it's so interesting too because in the beginning she even talks badly about this kind of gameplay where you're not really willing to budge because that's why
Mm.
they voted out Asia
Yeah, that's a
and
really good point. Holy shit.
and
Reaching
because
back
like
all the way to
yeah
pre-merge.
and that was their single reason for doing that but now they're like no we're doing Kyle no we're doing Sam and with the Kyle one it worked because like Kyle is so it like was easy like everyone was kind of just in agreement biggest threat it was just like okay let's like send him home now um but like then they try to pull this like Sam thing and they're like let's just do more on Sam like let's just get out Sam and they wouldn't really hear anything else and I think that was a really interesting kind of
Yeah.
like linear movement for their story.
No, I think that's a good read because I definitely like I applaud last week I applauded Teeny for sticking like not budging on the Kyle thing because it really was a way for them to own that move and also delay the Genevieve vote out down the line so that they could potentially claim that for themselves. But I also completely agree that like this was not the time to be rigid. And I felt like as I was watching it, um, I think it was something where Teeny has felt like they need to like make up so much ground on like the winning for their winning argument, and when Sam won the reward, they were probably expecting to be in that like perfect swing vote position, be like, oh, perfect, now I can like I'm in the prime position to make this move, and then Sam doesn't pick them, which ends up being the right decision because if they did pick
Yeah.
Teeny, they probably still weren't going to. But I don't know. Maybe they would, but I don't know. Probably not. Based on, yeah, Connor.
I think you're making a good point. I just think what annoyed me so much about you guys are helping me realize this. I think what annoyed me so much about Teeny, and honestly Sue about this episode was like if they were picked for the letters that they would help out Sam. Like when they get immediate, like when they go back to camp when Sam, Andy, and Genevieve go off, they're just like Sam shot his game. Like it's over. He had a chance to actually make amends. It's like they're acting like they would have been open to hearing stuff and they wouldn't. Like, this is exactly what they wanted, and I think this is for both factions. I think this was the best way to set up for them to actually both build solid strategies. And Andy being the chaotic, I don't want to say, but chaotic master he's coming in this game. He worked really well with the tools that he got. Just it worked out, and I think that made for better TV than if they were to vote Sam out this episode.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I
This episode is one of my favorites, like, ever that I've seen. This was I literally, as I was watching it, had to pace back and forth because I, like, couldn't sit still. It was edge of my seat, shitting, crying, throwing up
I
everywhere.
I will say, as someone that has Teeny as their only remaining player and their winner pick, I do have to the the
The
Teeny
teeny
management team.
apology tour.
You know, I will say I was surprised. I mean, this was a bad episode for Teeny, but I was surprised with how they were able to kind of just smile and like uh not be completely pissed when Caroline got blindsided. Like there was some kind of, I mean, we'll see what happens this next week. Their reaction to this, to being out of the vote, can be very important. I don't we can start to transition maybe to the split vote or winner predictions. But just for a brief uh glimpse into my winner potential rankings. I don't think Teeny's out of it yet, but they're definitely on the lowest possibility. Like I don't think Sue or Sam have a chance. And I think then Teeny is right above them too. I think Genevieve has now I actually see a path for Genevieve to make it. So Genevieve has like jumped. But let's get into the Operation Italy. The I think that's the fifth episode title for Andy now, like, or maybe six, five in a
It's like
row,
it's
something
crazy. It's just
insane.
the Andy show. It's like, I swear, is he working on the show? Is he like the one that comes up with the episode titles? Like,
He
he's
literally
playing
said it.
someone.
He said it.
He's putting the season on his back. He's the most interesting player right now. Everybody else is vanilla.
He said it, and I was like, God damn it, another one. I like. Let's see, episode titles. It's a six. He has six episode titles, five in a row. It's insane.
Yeah, it's
But
wild. It's wild.
For that to happen. Like, he planned it all.
Yeah, he's such a mastermind. We're all in his web, even the editors.
He is straight up bumbling through this season with maybe one or two highlights, and he just goes, "I meant to do that." You're like, all right, okay.
and then randomly managing to like
attack on the beach, like,
yeah, there's the like panic attack or whatever happened in the first episode, and then he somehow managed to like be in weird like sexual positions or like edits in each challenge. He's humping things. He's licking balls.
He's grunting. He's panting.
He's like the most massive jacked guy on the cast now, and he just doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, it's really Andy the Enigma. Okay, wait, so I have a question. Does this move give Andy potential to win? Question mark? Like, is that a thing, or is he destined to lose?
I think has a problem with the jury. If Andy does get to the final three, he's gonna have to do a lot of convincing with the jury, solely because he's such. Somebody in the jury said it after this tribal council. They were just like, Andy flipped again, and it's like
such disdain in their voice.
He has a great natural sixth sense for knowing when to get into an alliance on the ground floor and then immediately when to jump out the window when the building's on fire. He just convincing the jury solely because half of them trusted him, and then they are now realizing he keeps blindsiding people.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think Andy's biggest problem is going to be bitter jurors, and I think also, like, we've seen how he plays and how he kind of functions, and he has more of this like logical mindset. And I think there's a part of him that will expect the jurors to have the same exact thing, which is why I think he's not really thinking twice about this until if he does get to the end, I think it will bite him like in the ass. I think he is going to very much regret some of like his decisions, even though it was the best thing for him.
And
Um,
and we've seen things too on the beach, like on the merge episode, Sierra and Rachel were talking, and they were like, "Oh my god, I forgot about Andy." Like it, it wasn't. They weren't even. He wasn't even in their like headspace. So like, props to
and he
Andy
was
on
on
one.
their team for
Yeah.
multiple
Yes.
days.
Yes. But like, props to Andy for like having that awareness to be like, people don't respect me. I like was dying on the first challenge. Like they're I'm not gonna get votes, so I have to actually like make big moves and play hard. But then at the same time, he has like the like lack of awareness to be like turn to the jury bench and be like, yeah, I mean, I've had a hand in like voting every single one of them out. Like I lied straight to Sierra's face. Like Andy, what are you doing? That is not helping your case. So I don't know. I forgot when I said I thought Teeny is right above only Sue and Sam. I might have Andy and Teeny on kind of like an even playing field. We'll see like how the rest of this next episode and the finale pan out. But I don't know, maybe like a final three of Andy, Teeny, and Sue could be like really interesting. I don't know about y'all.
That is not close to my prediction for the end. That would, I mean, Sue is my last draft pick and Andy is my winner pick by default. So I'm down for that prediction.
I guess that is a. Or yeah, Michael, go ahead.
I think that like I don't know. I think if it were Andy, Teeny, and Sue, I think Andy would win. I because I think we do get a glimpse into how people kind of view Teeny's game, with the conversation they have with Genevieve, where
Hmm.
Genevieve's like, "If you're up against Rachel, I'm not voting for you." Like point blank, period.
Which was
It's not
correct
happening.
read. Yeah,
Yeah,
Teeny should have
it's
taken that like as a wake up call. I don't know.
She
like
took, yeah, no, she reacted way too angrily towards that. Like
yeah.
that's her issue. She's got too much vendetta in her blood. She
Mhm.
hating Genevieve since the Saul vote, even though I'm pretty sure Teeny also went in on the Saul vote.
I mean, that's been their story from the beginning with having to vote Asia out and like they don't want to work with Rome, but they're going to, and then Keyshawn getting they wanted to come into the game being this game bot that can just make the best move, but they're getting these attachments. Meanwhile, Genevieve wanted to they're like it's a weird foil in a way where like Genevieve is now like wanting to like I guess they're kind of similar in a way. It's I don't know. It's
I
very
think they're
interesting.
I get what you're saying. I think they're exact opposites because they're on different sides trying to get to the middle.
Right.
Where Teeny is like way too emotional, trying to get more of that strategy, and Genevieve is way too strategic, trying to get more of that like emotion, that
Right.
personability, that social game. That I think she's kind of flubbed. As much as I love her, and she is my queen, and she's a goddess, and she is amazing. She has definitely not a social game. Her best friend is Sam, who it just happened because they were at the bottom, and they like trauma bonded together. So I am I do think people view Genevieve as like a villain, but I really do think this is kind of the season of villains. Like, there's no one who really looks
Rome.
like super heroic. Um, like even like even someone like Kyle, who could be like I'd say has the best argument for being like a hero.
Hmm.
even he like got caught up in controversy with calling people like dumb or like weak, and like that could be taken either way, but it like did happen. So it's like no one is really like scot free. You even have Teeny, who from this whole season has been kind of building this underdog thing, only to have the past two episodes really like show them kind of in a poor light. So and it's just interesting. This season has kept me flipping my opinions on every like single person consistently, especially Teeny and Andy.
Well, I do. We can switch over to the fantasy rankings just to give a quick update for the people.
For
Um,
the people, yeah.
oh my god, I completely forgot to move the fire and ice. Um, the fire should be, I believe, under Emily because she has Andy who's just been going off,
She's the
and
only one that has Andy.
yeah, literally. And I gave myself the ice because this was just, yeah, I not a good episode for me. I'm back on the right side of the scoreboard. Molly overtook me. Diana at this rate is gonna overtake me if Genevieve keeps somehow surviving through all these votes. Um, and yeah, Connor, you are in fourth place. What's good is
I've
that
been in fourth for like episodes now. I haven't moved.
yeah, the
Hey,
the
you're
top three of Christina, Michael, and
I
Sean is
do.
like a tough trio to breach. Um, but
we're a very exclusive club. We only let the people of utmost standing in our inner circle.
Okay, all right, Mister Snooty Pants, whatever. No, I honestly, I don't see myself rising the ranks. I feel like it's either fourth or bust for me right now. I don't know. I don't know if
hey,
two is really gonna bring the heat or not.
Sue's keeping you treading water. You're ahead of Abby, who also only has Sue left by 3 points, so that's not gonna
Of
change.
course,
um,
me
but
and Abby bonded like that. Great.
if Andy ends up winning, that does give you a little boost. I mean, Emily might, if Emily catches up to you, that might be bad because Emily has the original Andy pick, so that will probably help her more. But it'll
Get
be
the bonus
interesting.
points.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how these final standings will finally settle out. Um, but uh, yeah, I guess let's get. We haven't talked about Operation Italy. I think were you guys confused at all? Because this was a lot of strategy and there hasn't been a lot of talk about splitting votes in the new era because of the shot in the dark. Um, and that's because there's no reason to split a vote. If they play the shot in the dark, they have to lose their vote, so there's no risk. Um, but I thought this was a really interesting episode because there's been split votes in the past that have gone wrong. Heroes versus villains, a guy was supposed to be voting for one side of the split vote, and he decided to change his vote last minute as kind of like a petty. He just wanted that person out, and it resulted in getting himself voted out because he didn't follow the split vote plan. So it's very
Wow.
interesting.
What a Nimrod!
Yeah, this is not the first time split votes have gone awry, and I don't know. Me personally, I was kind of surprised. There's so much. Andy was so insistent. I guess I don't know. I was surprised that there wasn't more suspicion or they didn't expect this to happen. I don't know.
It's crazy because Andy has a massive rap sheet. I'm pretty sure any blindside or any kind of shocking reveal in this game, Andy has had some sort of influence on in some way or another. Like I were Rachel. I'm surprised Rachel didn't see Andy pushing for a split vote and kind of be like, "Well, I've seen this side of Andy before.
Yeah,
What does this mean?"
it's true. He's a part of the
Good
Annika
point.
vote, all the way back then.
Annika, Sierra.
Yeah.
The poster child for Annika. He was unashamed. He was unashamed
Yeah,
to vote
he was
Annika.
clapping in his little seat.
Cause here's I forgot. This is just one thing that I was thinking while watching it was that the Underdogs Alliance at some point when Andy keeps insisting it to be Genevieve not Sam, like I would be almost like if I was Teeny or Rachel, it could almost be like, do you guys just want to like vote out Andy? Like we have four without
Right.
him. Like we have the numbers. We don't need Andy. We can just vote out Andy and then take out Genevieve and Sam like immediately after. But I don't know. I guess that's not what Teeny wanted. And honestly, they probably don't see Andy as a threat, so it probably seemed like a waste. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the plan actually was kind of perfect. There were a lot of ways it could go wrong, and I think the number one way that would have happened is Sue playing her idol on Caroline. Because that was like, or Rachel using her block a vote. I don't get why Rachel didn't use her block a vote on like Sam or something, but I guess,
Hmm.
you know, I guess it makes sense because Rachel is going into the final six in the best position.
Yeah.
I think there's no way that she does not make it to at least the final four.
Hmm.
She has that idol, that block a vote. She's not going home next week. Neither is Sue because Sue still has the idol and she's gonna play it on herself. So unless something goes really wrong and someone tricks Sue so badly,
Yeah.
which could
And
happen,
the idols
um,
can be played at till final six or final five.
I think the next vote is the last time they can play them. I imagine, but I
Okay.
could be wrong.
Yeah, I can't.
Um,
I should have fact checked before we recorded this.
yeah, we count on you, Ellis. You're our survivor historian. We have to know. Um, but I do think that it was so masterfully done, and I kind of understand why. Like Andy's logic for the split vote, made complete sense to me. Like he's like, okay, Sam and Genevieve are going to vote together. That's two. So we need to do a 3-2 in case they play an idol, so then we can just revote and get one of them out. Like I
Hmm.
think that made the most sense to me because I feel like he could have definitely played up more like, oh, Genevieve could play it on Sam or she could play it on herself. Like either way, it's gonna get played on one of them if we're going with the fake idol thing. And
Right.
um so I think, like that would be a really good argument. And I think like honestly, if I was in the Underdogs Alliance, I would have gone along with it. I would have definitely been like one of the people blindsided. I would have been like, wow, this is shocking. So it made sense to me, but that was just my brain.
I mean, the tricky part too is that Andy had to ensure that he was on the side of the three. Between the split vote, he had to make sure
Girl.
he was in the group of three so that when he flipped, they were 2-2. If he was on the side of the two and he flipped, then it'd be a tie vote 3-3, and it wouldn't matter. They'd re-vote, and Sam or Genevieve would just go home. So that's why he was so insisting on like it has to be Genevieve. A little weird. I feel like he could have just been like, fine, we can do Sam, but then he would have had to make sure he was in the three of Sam. So maybe that would have been a little harder. Um, but yeah, I guess and so I guess that's how he played it off. Was like Genevieve has the idol, so the safest thing to do is just to put the three on Genevieve to ensure he flushes it. And then, but then, people have said this past week that Heaney or Rachel or whoever should have been like, all right, Andy. Well, if you want it to be Genevieve so bad, then you have to vote for Sam. You have to be one of the two. Like you can't have it both ways, basically. Kind of to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that he goes through with this plan. Um,
That's smart. Yeah, that is. I didn't even think about that. That's really smart. Um, they should have done that, but
Future
they
Survivor
didn't.
players, contestants watching.
Listen up. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but
if
overall, did love the episode. Like I thought this was one of the best episodes. I honestly thought it was gonna fail the whole time. I was like, they're just playing it up. Like something's gonna go wrong. Like Rachel, I thought like Sam would go up and see like your vote's been blocked or something like that. And
I feel like the
I
editors
thought,
did kind of they like were like it was
yeah,
like the like
like
first letter like oh my god we could like they love the
yeah, no,
parchment editing.
They love when two people have like the same first letter of their name. I swear, next season everyone's gonna have like all A names, so they can do this every single time. Like it's
I was like, technically they could do it with Caroline and Genevieve because it's both like, oh, is there gonna be a
see.
little? And they didn't do that, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, do we want to get into like winner predictions or boots? We've hit the 30-minute mark, so this is
Yeah,
probably a
I
good
think
time. Um,
that sounds perfect.
does anyone remember what the next time on was? I'm like completely
Yes.
Connor. Yeah,
I remember. I am very excited. For all I know,
it's
it
a
could be
two-part
bullshit because
finale.
the editors. He's gonna know. Oh my god, there's 2 parts left. Oh my god. Yeah, like
There's 2 finales.
yes. Um, Though it could all be bullshit because the editors are so. I mean, it's reality TV. They're experienced. They know how to tug at the heartstrings, but they make it the power dynamic shifts and everybody's looking at Rachel because they show Rachel like eavesdropping from behind the bushes at night. Like
So
she's going.
funny.
Rachel
So
went.
good.
Rachel went full. She went full on Batman. Like she's sitting on the ledge listening to the thugs. Like she's going in. But I think they're kind of shifting it towards Rachel. Rachel feels betrayed by somebody, and I think they show her crying. I don't know if it's Andy or not that she's mad about, but there's just a lot.
Hmm.
I think there's a lot of aftermath that we're gonna have to deal with, and I think Andy was kind of foolish to jump in front of the gun there and just go, "I'll explain." Like I would have, if I were Andy, I would have
Oh
stayed quiet.
yeah,
I would have
you're
stayed
so
quiet and
right.
waited.
Hmm.
Not the
And he has
best.
so much ego. He has so much ego with his strategies. Like the second it works, he has to be like, "I that was me. That was me, guys."
That was me. I'll
Like,
explain. I can
Yeah,
explain it.
that's true. I mean, Devil's Advocate, he also was the one collapsing in the first challenge, so it almost is like he needs to claim it to make sure they don't give credit to like Genevieve or Sam, which to their credit
yeah,
did pull off a masterclass acting job of like, Genevieve, I think you should play it. I'm okay with the consequences.
That was
Like,
so funny.
I'm
Like
I'm
what?
okay with the results.
yeah,
Teeny
yeah.
heard that. Teeny, so you go like, what the
Their face
fuck?
went.
Like what?
Mhm.
She was
The
she was
theater
just like,
kids really came out there. Yeah.
It was like that. That was when they knew they fucked up. Oh my god, so good.
you can see Teeny being even more angrier, doing even more Sam impressions this next episode. she's she's like they're like a dog with a bone, man. They just when they are mad at somebody, they do not let up. Like they're they're on their shit list for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, so Connor, what do you think? Do you think Teeny's going home next episode, or do you think it's gonna be someone else?
If we're talking about personal preference, I would love for Teeny to go home. Get her off the dick. Saul's looking for his bestie in the jury. You know, they got to reunite.
Saul's
It's
lonely.
time. But every time I think I know who's going home, it ends up not being right. So honestly, I could see a lot of things happening. I mean, Rachel, as you guys said, she's going in. She has the best position right now. And no one knows about her idol yet.
Mhm.
And honestly, Rachel, I would really keep my ear pressed to the ground. Like they showed in the next time on. I would keep my ear pressed to the ground, and the second I hear a bad vibration, I'm playing that idol. And
It
Yeah.
block a
it
vote,
would
And
be.
that
carry the
block
block
vote.
a vote as long as you can to keep that
Yeah.
power.
I mean,
Rachel could
there.
technically just decide who goes home next time. It literally could just
Honestly,
be her choosing.
my final predictions, like my ideal final three would be if they were to wake up and smell the coffee. Andy, Genevieve, and Rachel are the three most strategic players, and I think it's only a matter of time before they all realize that and that they should be working together to get rid of the pawn. Genevieve, Rachel, and Andy, the next most strategic player is Sam, and he's got the biggest target on his back. Oh,
Very
I don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, who knows? Sue probably might even catch a stray bullet, and then mine and Abby's game is shot for the rest of the season. I don't know.
I I mean, it is interesting. I think we did see on the next time on that the Blanca vote is just. I mean, it already was like everyone knows about it since the Operation Italy reward, but now it's like open discourse. Like, what are we gonna do? She has a Blanca vote with like 6 people left. Like, this is a problem. So like, we're talking about like Rachel's path to the end. Like, oh, she has the Blanca vote. She has the idol. Like, that could easily make her wait, like get her to at least final four. But like it would be her target might have been elevated so much that she has to use all of it like this tribal, or like I don't know, like it'll be interesting. um
It
I mean,
feels in line with Genevieve's character. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Genevieve felt the power shift and extended a branch to Rachel, and they decided to block either Teeny or Sue's vote and just go
That
after
would
either.
that would be really interesting because they are definitely in the next time on. They were definitely playing up this Rachel Genevieve battle to like the death. They
but
really
instead,
are showing
from enemies to
showing like
lovers.
yes, which I would love. I
It's
love Genevieve. I
it's
like
worked before.
Rachel.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that storyline we've crafted here. Oh man, I have no idea though. For like, if I have to give a name.
Yeah, there's a lot of players
I
backed into corners. I think there's just a lot of
yeah.
room for desperate decisions.
I I don't want to say this,
Uh-oh.
but
You have to say it. Do
Oh
it.
my
I
god, he's gonna say it.
I think I see two possibilities for who goes home next. One
Hmm.
of which is sadly Genevieve, which I
Hmm.
do not want by any means,
Okay,
but
weird you bring it up, but well, yeah.
I do not want. But I also see Andy, um,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
my reasoning is as much as I would love for Connor's idea of like the three most strategic people to like work together and like really bring it home to the end, I think they're gonna eat each other instead. I think you have Andy even on the beach leading this discourse like Rachel has a block of vote. She's so dangerous. So I think like it depends whether Andy's most recent move is going to make Rachel be like Andy has to go, or if she's going to stick with like I still want Genevieve gone. And I think that's gonna really make it. Um, I think that's what it's really gonna come down to. I think like I would love to see like Teeny or Sam go home next, but I I don't know. I think like the target's gonna move on to Rachel. She's gonna play the idol, and it's gonna be kind of like her vote, like because I think they're gonna try and stack votes on to avoid the block a vote, and then it's gonna be like at least like 4 to like 1 to 1 or like four to
And then
like
she'll have to
five to
play her
one.
idol.
She'll have to play her idol,
I mean, at
and
that point, just
it's
don't even
whoever
play the
Rachel
block of vote.
votes.
But,
Yeah.
oh. Can the block of vote be used at 5?
Well, no, this is the last time. The block of vote is final six. I know
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But
Anybody knows that but Rachel, though. I'm not. Do you guys
no,
know
I think Rachel.
them like when it's up?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that this is the last time Rachel can play it because there was also a scene last episode where Rachel is showing Andy the parchment that
Right.
she got, where it says all the rules and everything. So I think it's like everyone knows.
Okay.
I imagine Andy has told everyone.
So, Michael, who's the name you're locking in for your prediction?
I don't want it. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna say Andy. I think it's gonna be Andy. I'm really tied between like Genevieve and Andy, but I can't in good conscience say Genevieve because that was absolutely not what I want, and I
Oh,
would cry and
yeah.
set myself on fire if she goes home, which we
I was so ready to. I wanted you to predict Genevieve because I don't think I'm a Genevieve believer now. And if
well,
Genevieve can pull this off, that would be amazing and very entertaining. So I'm not predicting Genevieve for once. I mean,
my
I
God,
didn't
this
last
is
episode.
new.
I predicted
That's
Caroline,
true. Proud
but
of you.
I've changed. I've
You're
grown.
growing.
um, no, you know what? I'm Connor. I liked your idea, and I'm gonna predict Sam. I think they're taking out the threats are taking out one of the pawns, as you could say. Um, or Sam might be a perceived threat right now, but I think some people are saying, you know what, Sam's not even in my ideal final three. Let's just take him out, just to get me a little bit closer. So yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm saying Sam.
Wow.
That's right.
One of
Watch
the
out,
more
Sean.
realistic predictions. You
And
guys
Connor, did
definitely
you
have the
say
more realistic predictions.
Connor, who did you say like
Oh,
definitively do you think is going home?
actually, a good question. I honestly, after hearing your guys' predictions, you guys had way more realistic ones. I think mine's just like a dream shopping list type.
Hey, you gotta have
That's
I
those.
fine. I'm here for dreams.
Yeah.
thinking after like more like just because I'm trying to think of I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who's the person I would least expect to get voted off this next episode, and I'm honestly want it to be Andy, but he's definitely a possibility. But I'm gonna say I don't want Genevieve to be out either, frankly. But
I know. I
I've been a
know.
fan of her game. I think she's playing really smart. She utilized Andy when no one else wanted him, and then made him an even bigger threat. Now I might have majority pool with the rest of the pawn votes. So if the editors are showing us anything accurate and Rachel's got some bad blood with Genevieve, I think Genevieve might be going home, and I think Rachel might use the blocker vote to make it happen.
This could be TD's big move. Vote out Genevieve.
Yeah. She's actually been pulling the strings the whole time.
Yeah, Teeny behind everything. Little did we know.
Yeah. Put it in her blog when she wins Survivor. Her freelance writing skills come to the test.
Hey, that's good though. We have 3 different predictions, so we have a
Yeah.
50% chance of being right.
Let's go.
Guys, this
If
podcast
only we
is
got
so good
3
at
more
predicting
people.
who's going home.
We only had 3 more people to get that
Yeah, think
100%.
tanks.
Oh, well, I mean, is there any last things we want to add? We're just over the 40-minute mark, so if not, any last minute?
Best on the jury. For me, it's between Saul and Sierra. I don't know. I don't know
Ooh,
you
that
guys. What
is.
do you guys think?
Well, Michael didn't like Saul's last fit.
On the vest too much.
I didn't like Saul.
They're relying on the vest too much, and the maroon with the white, it
Ooh.
didn't with the yellow,
Okay.
like highlights.
With
it
the
didn't look
the
great.
yellow was not working. The yellow was not working. Don't get me wrong.
Interesting.
Okay, I love different. I love trying new things. But we also have to know that sometimes that isn't executed in the best way.
Wow.
I
Y'all are
will
Saul
say though,
haters.
Soul is still up showing Kyle and Gabe, who show up in everyday wear, which is crazy. I'm like, it looks like you're still on the beach. You have
Here's the thing.
showers and clothes. Use them.
I don't think Kyle's a
Sierra's
fashion
been
dude.
stunting
Gabe's
on everybody, man. She's
Yeah.
the only one.
Sierra's really showing all
Effort.
of them
She's
up.
been putting effort in every time.
and
she looks like she wants to murder all the contestants. She's still bitter from when she got
hates
blindsided.
everyone.
She gives the same stare every time. She's always like just angry like the entire time. And she was my pick with her. She's from Delaware. She's
That
awesome.
is true.
Like I root for her. I'm still mad
definitely
about it too.
no,
She's
Sierra's boot episode.
bad.
Sierra's boot episode did like remind me of like it gave like old school Survivor vibes, and I don't know why. Maybe was she wearing like her like a hat backwards or something? Like there was something like
she had I think she had like a thick headband on with her hair tied up, and she had that like rainbow cardigan, like the big puffy one or whatever. I don't.
I think
She
Sierra
was
could be a
she was best dressed when she got voted out too. She looked good getting voted out too.
Yeah.
Sierra
very
could be
good.
a sleeper returnee like pick for season 50. I mean, there's a lot of competition, but I did think she was a good casting, and I think she just wasn't shown as much because she was the first jury member, which is unfortunate.
She was she was one of those BS votes where people were saying she was a threat when in reality she was not the biggest threat at the time.
Yeah.
She was still like laying seeds for her game. She was like, "I'm just
Yeah.
gardening, guys. What?" And they all
Well,
jumped.
I'm just
It
gardening.
was so random.
I think you can make the argument that she was a big threat, and they just caught her. She caught her too soon, so she couldn't have a
I
chance to
guess, yeah.
grow. Yeah. All right.
You're
Well,
right. You make good points.
that was, you know what? Honestly, I think we need to add a new segment. It's the jury fashion
Best dress.
segment. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wins best
I
dress?
think that needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well, you made a
Well.
good point. You said Gabe and Kyle haven't been putting in effort. I was excited about it. Saul and Sierra were putting effort in, and then immediately you
Yeah.
just get womp
I
womp,
feel like
Gabe
Gabe tries
Yes.
though. I feel like Gabe tries and then it doesn't. Like
He's trying.
That's a take.
no, like I feel like he like
I'll wrap around his waist last time.
Kyle looks like he didn't even. Kyle looks like he like got out of his new comfy bed and is just like, I'll just put these things on. Gabe looked like he tried to put some plan in and it just didn't work.
Well, I mean,
That's
definitely,
exactly what it was.
they definitely had some kind of shaving party in the jury or something, because all of them were clean shaven, like as opposed to last time. So, they put in that effort. So yay. But
Wait.
yeah, no, I mean, I think Gabe's worn the same flannel twice now. Faux pas. When you're competing with Sol and Sierra, you can't show up in the same outfit. It won't work. But yeah, it's a whole other thing.
All right, well,
Switch it again. Just real quick, I think Sue needs to jump in the ocean. I don't know why she's always covered in dirt. I don't know what's going
She's
on
using it for
there.
makeup.
dude, her whole face was
She's
covered at
using
this
a bunch
point.
of contour.
At this point, it's foundation, Michael. Like.
Walking
This
around
is-
camp pointing at Caroline. She's like, Caroline, you got some dirt on your face. Sue, you have dirt all over.
Yeah, that was
What
so funny.
are you talking to?
We're treading dangerous waters here, Michael. Like her like it's a different like shade of skin tone at this point. Like
Gonna start doing blackface. Stop. Cut the camera.
Sue seems like the person to do that. Yeah. She's like, no, because it's funny. And you're like, no.
Kyle keeps talking about how he's poor. Like, oh, get out of here.
Literally, she was like, "God, Kyle's so poor." Ew.
Adam, well, what's it called? I don't. She said that he was calling her and Caroline Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And Sue got it wrong. She said Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, she didn't even get the names right.
She does keep saying Tweedledee.
Yeah, a ton of favors for sure. But I don't ever remember seeing a clip of Kyle saying that.
They
I
didn't
think
show
that
it.
was
Kyle saying Sue and Caroline don't do much in challenges, which, if I'm being honest, that's true. I think Kyle was just being self-reflective in the merge and just kind of trying to give accurate advice to other people. And I think Sue just really took that personally, in turn with Kyle writing her name down like the second or third week.
That's true.
I don't
She
know.
did not let go of that ever.
Sue is in a completely different game. Like she's not where everybody else is. She's really not.
She's riding on the tsunami, man.
She's riding on the tsunami.
Hey, I should be grateful. I should be riding that tsunami to the victory in the draft. I should put more trust in the tsunami. I really should.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are about to reach the 50-minute mark, so I think this is a good place to stop. But
Yeah.
thank you, Connor, for coming on. This was actually
Yes,
a,
this is great.
this was a lot of fun. I loved the fashion segment at the end. It was a
Yes.
great tail end, and I'm ready to for this finale this week. You know, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the finale this week, and I'm ready to watch another finale the week after that.
So many finales. We're having a lot of finales.
I couldn't agree more excited for. I'm more excited for the latest episode of the Michael and Ellis show. I really am.
Aww.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Thank
That
you.
just warms my cold dead heart.
You know what? Make it the Michael and
Jesus,
Ellis
Michael.
and Connor show at this point. I mean, we haven't gotten praise like that from any other guest.
Yeah, so true.
I'm looking at y'all. Like and subscribe. What the hell?
Exactly.
I'm pointing at you.
You.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, or I'll find you. I will hunt you down like a rabid dog, and I will kill you. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for watching.
And
Tune
Connor,
in
of
next
course, it was
week.
great to have you on. I loved your opinions, the passion, the fashion, everything. Beautiful.
We're a good time, not a long time, and Survivor is a very wild ride. So I'm honored to be a part of the show, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.